That was This is Halloween, Trap City Remix. Welcome to the Rise Weekly Review for October 17th through October 31st, 2022, extended 2-week edition. On Thursday, the 20th, Terrell Morton was shot and killed near the Ford Supplier Park in Hegewisch. According to reports, 39-year-old Terrell was sitting in the driver's seat of a parked car near Peco Pellets on the 2900 block of East 126th Street. Around 5:46 a.m., someone approached the vehicle and opened fire. Terrell suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the body. CBS News reports that at least 20 bullet holes were counted on the driver's side door and window. Terrell was a member of the United Auto Workers Local 551. Terrell is survived by his wife and children. He is remembered on social media posts as a great man, neighbor, father, husband, and friend. Anyone with information on this or other Chicago crimes is asked to call 311 or leave an anonymous tip at cpdtip.com. On Friday, the 21st, Darius Michael Davis was killed in a South Shore shooting. According to reports, Darius, age 28, and a 30-year-old woman were in a parked car on the 2500 block of East 79th Street. Around 1:17 a.m., shots were fired, and Darius was struck in the back. The unidentified woman drove Darius to South Shore Hospital, but he passed away from his injuries. The woman was struck in the right leg. She was last reported in good condition. According to an unconfirmed post on social media, Darius was with the woman doing Uber Eats at the time of the shooting. He was remembered as a very hardworking and humble young man. On Friday the 21st, a teen was injured in an Eastside shooting. The 16-year-old was on the 3500 block of East 106th Street when someone began opening fire. The teen heard shots and began to feel pain in the left leg. The teen went to Trinity Hospital where they were last reported in fair condition. On Friday the 28th, a 33-year-old man was shot in Jeffrey Manor. The man was walking around 10:59 p.m. on the 9700 block of South Luella. He heard shots fired and began to feel pain. He self-transported to Trinity Hospital, where he was treated for a shot in the right hand. He was last reported in good condition. On Sunday the 30th, a 24-year-old man was shot in Jeffrey Manor. According to reports, the man was walking on the 9700 block of South Jeffrey around 2:22 a.m. A black sedan rode past the man, and someone in the vehicle opened fire. The man was struck in the right leg. He self-transported to the University of Chicago and was last reported in good condition. Also on Sunday, a 62-year-old man was shot in South Shore. The man was walking outside on the 7600 block of South Saginaw. According to the victim, a car drove by the man and someone inside began firing shots. The man was struck in the eye. He was not able to provide further details. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was last reported in critical condition. On Tuesday, the 25th, 43-year-old Andres Perez was arrested for a shooting off I-80. Andres, who is from East Chicago, reportedly fired shots at another vehicle on Sunday the 23rd. The victims reported that they were traveling on I-80 near Burr Street when someone in a black GMC Yukon opened fire on them. One of the people inside was hit by the gunfire. The victims exited on the I-94 ramp where they encountered Illinois State Police. The victim was taken to Franciscan Hospital in Chesterton where they were treated. Investigators determined Andres who was out on bail for a murder in July, was a suspect. A search warrant and arrest warrant were obtained, and on Tuesday, officers arrested Andres. He has been charged with attempted murder, stalking while armed with a deadly weapon, battery by means of a deadly weapon, and criminal recklessness with a firearm. During the week, Chicago police issued an alert after a string of car thefts in South Shore. The car thefts happened within a 5-day period from October 17th through October 21st. The thieves appear to be targeting various Kia and Hyundai models. These models of cars have been popular among thieves after video posted on social media showed the relative ease of stealing them with a USB drive. Models before 2022 suffer from a missing immobilizer in the ignition that allows thieves to steal them. Two thefts happened on October 17th, one on 73rd and Exchange and the other on 73rd and Coles between 4 to 6 p.m. One theft on the 19th on 72nd and Exchange and another on the 20th on 73rd and South Shore Drive. Two additional thefts happened on the 1st. One on the 2700 block of East 75th and the other on 74th and Coles. According to police, the cars were parked on the street or in parking lots. Police advised people to not leave keys in cars or vehicles running unattended. Install anti-theft devices, including the club, park in heavily traveled areas, keep doors and windows secured, and report suspicious activities to police. Anyone with information on these reported thefts is asked to contact the Area 1 Bureau of Detectives at 312-747-8380. During the week, updated information came out about Angelica Carrasquillo, who reportedly had a kill list of students, parents, and teachers at St. Stanislaus in East Chicago. 25-year-old Angelica signed a no contact order on Friday without objection at the Lake Superior Court. The no contact order bars her from going near the school and students from the school. Angelica, who lives in Griffith, entered a not guilty plea to one count of intimidation. She is being held on bond at $20,000 and would have to pay $2,000 to be released. According to court documents, Angelica communicated a threat to commit murder on October 12th. The threats were discovered when a counselor was escorting two 12-year-olds to a classroom for recess detention when they overheard a fifth grader say, "I heard Miss Carrasquillo wants to kill herself and has a list." The student said Angelica said the threat to him and told him he was on the list. Reports state Angelica was interviewed by the school assistant principal and stated, "I want to kill myself, staff, and students, and I did also make a kill list." When asked why she reportedly stated, "I am having trouble with my mental health, and sometimes the kids do not listen in the classroom. I also have trauma caused when I went to high school." She also reportedly named one student on the kill list. NBC News reports that Angelica also stated she was only joking about the list. A new report by the Southside Housing Data Initiative discusses the vulnerability of South Shore residents to impending gentrification. According to the reports, the area has high numbers of financially vulnerable renters and vulnerable condo buildings and owners. The area is predominantly made up of renters and the largest group in the city that rely on housing choice vouchers. It is also currently facing the highest number of evictions in the city. Aging properties, deferred repairs, and limited financial resources make many condominium properties vulnerable to investors, placing existing condo owners at risk of losing their homes. Despite the number of buildings, South Shore suffers from high vacancy rates due to population loss, disinvestment, continued impacts from the foreclosure crisis, and increasing number of outside investors who own or manage vacant properties. The report suggests there is an opportunity to grow homeownership and leverage public investment in planning. It offers some suggestions on things that can be done to ensure inclusive growth while preventing some displacement. These include preserving the growing ownership opportunities, providing resources to preserve home ownership, preserve rental affordability, increasing housing vouchers, and activate first right of refusal programming. However, the report also demonstrates the impact that development such as the Obama Presidential Library, Invest Southwest, Thrive Exchange, Beagle Mile Studios, and Urban Core are having and expect to continue having on an increasing costs, investor speculation, and displacement of existing residents who are unable to afford the increases. The link to the full report can be found at the following bit.ly address: bit.ly/3 capital U, lowercase k, lowercase w, lowercase g, lowercase h, 3. During the week, a report in Black Club Chicago discussed progress on the Marquette Greenway. The Marquette Greenway is an extensive plan to build a nature and bike path from New Buffalo, Michigan to Chicago. The plan has been in the works since at least 2003. Developments have been created with the plan in mind. The plan calls for a 58-mile path that connects existing trails to new developments, including ones in northwest Indiana and the southeast side of Chicago. 22 miles of the 58-mile trail have already been completed. Another 32 miles are mapped out and funded by $17.8 million in federal grants and a $5.2 million grant from the Indiana Dunes National Park and 9 municipalities. The final 4-mile stretch in Michigan still needs funding for completion, and a group known as Friends of Berrien County is trying to raise $250,000 to complete it. The trail currently connects Calumet Park to northwest Indiana through the Burnham Trail, although some areas are still in development and need additional funding. Groups affiliated with real estate developers were attempting to push expanding the path over the Calumet River through South Chicago and South Shore to connect the city's downtown as part of an attempt to attract investors similar to the 606 trail system. And finally, over the weekend, residents and groups held events to celebrate the Halloween and Day of the Dead holidays. Throughout the region, families took their children out trick or treating. In South Chicago, several events were held. Saturday, the Schaefer Park Advisory Council and the New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church held a breast cancer awareness walk and a dance celebration. The Urban Growers Collective hosted a harvest fest that included farm tours, pumpkin, and face painting, among other activities. The Besmer and Schaefer Park Advisory Council hosted its annual Trunk or Treat event. The Bridges Puentes Collective held an event that included dancing and speeches and a memorial for victims of police brutality. The Veterans Memorial Park Action Committee held its annual Haunted House. In South Shore, the Artisan Collective held an event titled Afroween that was an African-themed Halloween celebration. The Train Up a Child project held its first annual Career Ween costume party by Rainbow Beach. Trunk or treat events were also held on the east side of Neggers Grove and in various places throughout Northwest Indiana. And that ends our weekly review for October 17th to October 31st, 2022. Thank you for joining us for this week in review. Peace.
That's our job, but we're not mean in our town of